we've created this incredible, modern, technologically enabled society, one that is supported by our 10 different sectors of critical infrastructure, that every day we wake up, we assume that a whole series of systems are going to work. Your furnace, the power, the water, the sewer, the grocery store, the healthcare, the public transportation, the finance system, the internet, your cell phone, all of these incredible things that we've created to support our modern, wonderful society. We just make the assumption that every single day we wake up, we just assume that they will work and that there will be no disruptions. And when there is a disruption, we as a society are wholeheartedly not ready to navigate a problem. The situation is we don't have a culture of preparedness. To quote Brock Long, a former director of FEMA, that a culture of preparedness is one of the 4 pillars that are required to enable a modern society. Knock one of the pillars out and the chair becomes unstable. We've transferred the responsibility for much of what we enjoy in life to the public sector or the private sector, and we do so for moderate remuneration. We've created a social contract where the government agency provides us power and we pay them a fee per power. If they raise the power rates too high, we throw them out of office. It's this weird relationship. But what we don't do, what we do not have as a culture of preparedness, is to fill that gap when one or a cascading effect of these sectors of critical infrastructure fail to work. You get up one morning, there's no internet, there's no cell phone, there's no power, no public distribution, no finances, no online services, and basically everybody's been taken down by a cyber incident. What is your plan? Do you have a strategy? Are you able to take care of yourself and provide these normal, responsible outcomes for you and those that you love throughout a disruption? Or have you created a system where you are now dependent, 100% dependent on somebody else providing you assistance, be that in the form of support or food or energy or warm blankets or power or any of that? And we saw it at length during the pandemic, where during the pandemic, fabulous, wonderful people who simply did nothing wrong. They provided great service to a healthy company that was doing really well. They were accoladed for what they provided, and they lost their income because businesses were shut down. Not a discussion on whether lockdowns are good or not, but the fact of the reality is that great people were fired for doing nothing wrong, but those people didn't have a plan. They had nothing to pivot to. At the macro level, very, very few were financially ready to be able to navigate a several month-long disruption without needing government checks. We created a dependosaurus environment where a majority of the population or a significant minority required regular and consistent government intervention to be able to navigate the calamity. What we set up was a system that required an egregious amount of government spending, which resulted, and every economic booklet will tell you, resulted in the inflation that caused the interest rates to have to be brought up to tame the inflation rate, which as a direct result of that outsized spending. We did it to ourselves because we failed to adopt a culture of preparedness. We set up the system where the government had no choice but to spend massive amounts of money it didn't have, massively increasing the money supply, chasing the same amount of goods, which simply meant the price of everything had to go through the roof. There was no other outcome that was possible as a result of that spending. This is not criticizing governments. It's just one had to lead to the other and then lead to the situation that we're in now. This is because you and I, as a society at the macro level, made the conscious choice to not adopt a culture of preparedness. We chose to be dependent on somebody else without any plan whatsoever for what happened, basically transferring the responsibility to take care of ourselves from us to the magical government, so that whenever a disruption happens in the 10 sectors of critical infrastructure, be it short or prolonged, the majority of society is going to have to look to somebody else to take care of their needs. That is a disastrous way to construct society, pun intended. We need to adopt a culture of preparedness as a society so that we can take back this responsibility, so that we can continue with this incredible modern technologically enabled society, but that we understand that when these disruptions do occur, and they will continue to occur in the 2020s, likely at a higher frequency and severity, that when they do occur, it is our responsibility to set our conditions for success, which means if you get fired, it is your responsibility to have a plan to cover your expenses until your income either restores or you start a new line of income to replace the old one. It is your responsibility to be able to feed, water, and house you and your family throughout a disruption, to stay warm in a Canadian winter, and to stay cool in a Canadian summer. How you do that? Well, we've got incredible lists and ways to do things. We've got over on our website at preparednesslabs.ca, we've got free downloads, we've got free newsletters, we've got a free incredible podcast, Inside My Canoe Head, that is heard all around the world, over 4 years of episodes on individual preparedness, all of it free of charge. All of it for you at no cost as a public service to help encourage you and the rest of society to adopt that culture of preparedness, to take the reins of responsibility, and to seize the day so that when a disruption happens, your family doesn't have to take a knee. You're not likely even disrupted, or the disruption is nominal, that you continue to chase your dreams, to rock an incredible life, irrespective of the disruptions that is being imposed on you. So go ahead, adopt a culture of preparedness, follow us across all social media, and learn how to do this while spending very little, if no money at all. That's the key. Preparedness is a lifestyle, not a stockpile, and preparedness is free. You can adopt a prepared life without spending any money.